separate 4 and D. So I'm going to disable all of these layers, and then I will enable this 4D, but I'm going to duplicate it so you can keep the original copy. And then I will enable the copy, double click to bring the 3D environment, and now you are going to play with this one. So the first thing, I'm going to decrease the inflation. I don't know what they call it in English, inflate. So I'm going to control it here in the screen. I will make it less puffy, like this is good. And then the next step, you're going to select the 4D text and then go to the 3D menu and split extrusion. This will split the 4 and the D, and then we can control them separately. I will click on the letter D. You can move it like this. Sorry. Okay, this is letter D. I'll go to the properties for the position and move it to the ground, and then we can move it around like this and rotate it as we want. I'm going to push it back to be behind the 4, and I'm going to use these controls. It's better for controlling. And then rotate it like this. Okay, let's do this for the 4 as well. I'll bring it to the front, and also I'm going to rotate it a bit. Okay. Okay, I will push the 4 a bit to the back. Okay, let's select it and render it and see how it will look like. Okay, I just stopped the recording while it was rendering. Now I want to move the D to the right side a bit. And then let's play with the rotation a bit, like this is good. Then the 4, we will bring it to the front a bit and rotate it a bit more. And then it's not in the middle, like both of them are not in the middle. I'm going to press Shift and click on both of them to move it in the middle of the scene. And now we can render and see. I'm going to stop the video and I'll get back to you. Okay, like this we are good. Let's go back to the layers. I'm going to enable the boxes to see how they look like with this separation. I'm going to enable the boxes that we rasterized. So as you can see, this right box is not fitting the scene. I'm going to bring it in front of the D. I mean the letter D. So for that, I'm going to enable this box. Then double click on it to bring the 3D environment. I'm going to bring this box in front of the letter D, and I'll make it a bit bigger. So here I just brought it to the front side a bit, and I made the size bigger. Now we need to change the position of this box in the layer panel to be above the letter D. Okay, we are back in the 3D environment. I'm going to play with the size, rotation, and the light of this box. So the first thing, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Go to the move tool and move it to the ground. And then I'm going to rotate it a bit like this. And I think I will make it a bit smaller. I'm using this middle box to control the scaling. Then move it to the ground again. I'll go to the light and change the light. So you want this long shadow. Okay, I'll keep it like this. Then I'll go to the environment and I will increase the reflection, the opacity of the reflection, so you have some of the reflection of the box. Let's render it and see. Okay, that's good, but we need to add some light to the box. I'm going to play with the light until we have something like this. And if we render it, it looks good now. Let's go back to the layers. And now, just like we did before, we are going to duplicate our 3D layers, and you are going to change one of them to the rasterized 3D. But first we need to render them. I will click each of them and render them. Now we have all of them rendered. The only thing that you are going to do is to click on the 4D and Command J to duplicate it. Now I will disable one of the copy, which is the 3D one. Now I will right click on it to rasterize 3D. And then I will take it out from this folder and move it to the other layers. Make sure that you're putting it in the right place. We are going to organize them accordingly. I'm going to duplicate this box now, disable the 3D version, and one of them right click, then rasterize to 3D and take it out. Now you are good. I'm going to disable this 3D ones, and I'll remove this extra box and also the extra 4D, which is this one. Click and delete, and this 4D, click and delete. Now we have a completely new 3D scene. And all of these 3D objects, they are rasterized and they're like normal Photoshop layers or photos. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add the shadow to this front box. I'll Ctrl Z so they go to their position. And for this front box, I'm going to use the shape layers to create a shadow for it. I'm going to use the pen tool to create the shadow for this box. Create something like this, and then change the color to black. Now I'll play a bit more with the shape of this shadow to fit the object. I'm pressing Option, which is Alt on the window, to skew the shape like this. Like this is good. I'm going to click on it and layer mask it. Now go to the brush tool, make sure that you're using the black one to remove the shadow. I'll make the size bigger and use the black color. Not the white, but the black. Then we are going to remove the sides of it, so it's not very obvious. You can take your time and work with the shadow until it is perfect. Change the blending mode to the multiply so it looks like it is on the ground. Let's keep it like this. I'm going to change the shape a bit, make it a bit bigger and move it like this. Let's zoom out and see how it will look like. I think we removed a lot of black from it. I'm going to the mask again, change the color to white, and I'm going to paint on it to bring back some of the black. Like this is good. I'll just play with the shape a bit more. So guys, working with Photoshop is like this. You have to adjust one thing 100 times until it fits your desires. And now double click on the shape layer. We are going to get the color from the ground. So the last thing, I want to add some light to this 4D. I'm going to create a new layer, clip mask it, and now go to the brush, and I will get the color from this light, something reddish, and we can paint on our text like this. Guys, this is the end of this lesson. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. It's not necessary to add this light to your 3D, but if you want, you can go ahead and make it perfect for yourself. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. I'll see you in the next lesson.